Every man has seen it happen. The girl who says she wants something real, something deep, something honest. Yet she keeps falling for the same kind of guy who breaks her heart. She ignores the man who would treat her right and chases the one who treats her like an option. It doesn't make sense, right? But that's because attraction doesn't follow logic. It follows emotion. She's not choosing what's good for her. She's choosing what feels intense, exciting, unpredictable. The wrong guy gives her chaos, and her emotions mistake that chaos for passion. The truth is, most women don't actually want a perfect man. They want a man who makes them feel something. And the sad part? The good guy keeps losing because he doesn't understand the psychology behind her choices. But once you do, you'll never look at female attraction the same way again. Today, I'm going to expose the real reason why she always chooses the wrong guy and how you can flip that script so next time, you become the man she can't resist. Point 1. She confuses emotional chaos with passion. Here's the harsh truth. Most women don't fall for the man who gives them peace. They fall for the man who gives them emotional highs and lows. The wrong guy keeps her heart racing, not because he's better, but because he triggers her emotions like a roller coaster. One moment he's distant, the next he's charming. One day he makes her feel special, the next he disappears. That unpredictability messes with her mind, and she mistakes that chaos for passion. She tells herself, it's complicated, but it feels real. In reality, she's addicted, not to him, but to the rush he creates. It's psychology. When her emotions spike with uncertainty, the fear of losing him, the thrill when he returns, her brain releases dopamine, the same chemical linked to addiction. That's why she keeps going back to men who hurt her. It's not love, it's neurological conditioning. The chaos keeps her hooked, and the peace of a healthy man feels boring by comparison. She's been trained by society, movies, and even past relationships to associate intensity with love. The guy who texts less, flirts carelessly, and doesn't chase gives her space to crave him. The good man, on the other hand, gives her comfort, and her emotions don't know how to process comfort as attraction. Now here's where most men get it wrong. They see her chasing chaos and think, so women just love toxic guys. Not exactly. What she loves is emotional engagement. She wants to feel something, excitement, risk, mystery. The wrong guy accidentally gives her that. The nice guy tries to remove all uncertainty, thinking safety equals love. But love without tension feels flat. Attraction needs a pulse, a bit of unpredictability, a hint of challenge. So what's the fix? Don't become toxic. Become unpredictable in your strength. Be kind but not soft, calm but not dull. Let her feel your presence, but never let her think she completely owns it. When you can balance warmth with mystery, comfort with intensity, you become what her emotions truly crave. The man who brings excitement without chaos. Because once she experiences controlled intensity from a grounded man, every wrong guy she used to chase will feel small in comparison. Point 2. She mistakes attention for affection. One of the biggest reasons women keep choosing the wrong men is because they confuse attention with affection. The wrong guy knows how to flood her with attention, compliments, constant texting, playful energy, but it's shallow. It's not built on genuine care. It's built on strategy. He gives her just enough validation to make her feel wanted, but not enough consistency to make her feel secure. And that imbalance keeps her chasing him. She starts craving his attention like a drug, thinking it's love. But it's not love she's addicted to, it's the dopamine rush that comes with being noticed. Here's how it works. A woman who hasn't felt deeply seen or valued will often chase the man who gives her temporary validation. He might not respect her boundaries or her emotions, but he makes her feel alive. He makes her feel chosen, even if it's only for a moment. Meanwhile, the good man, the stable one, gives affection quietly and consistently. He doesn't flood her with flattery. He gives calm, genuine care. But because his attention isn't dramatic, she doesn't feel the same spark. Her emotions mistake chaos for connection and calmness for disinterest. That's how good men lose and manipulators win. The wrong man is like a salesman. He sells fantasy, not substance. He'll say all the right things but disappear when it matters. Yet when he comes back, she feels relief, and that relief strengthens the illusion of love. It's a toxic emotional loop: neglect, followed by validation, followed by more neglect, and each cycle deepens the attachment. That's why she keeps running back. She's not attracted to the man, she's addicted to the pattern. But here's where the power shifts. The man who understands this doesn't compete by out-texting or out-charming the wrong guy. He competes by being authentic. He gives attention with intention. He listens without performing. He makes her feel seen, not just noticed. And over time, her nervous system begins to calm around him. That's when she realizes the difference. Attention excites her, but affection grounds her. So never chase her with empty validation. Let your energy speak louder than your words. When your presence brings her peace instead of confusion, she'll start to crave you in a way she's never craved the wrong guy. Because attention fades, but real affection rewires her heart. Point 3. She's attracted to the challenge, not the character. Here's the brutal truth. Many women don't fall for the man who's best for them. They fall for the one who feels hardest to get. The wrong guy plays hot and cold, unpredictable, distant one day and charming the next. That unpredictability becomes a challenge, and her emotions interpret that challenge as depth. She convinces herself that if she can just fix him, change him, or make him love her back, it will mean something. It's not love she's chasing, it's validation through victory. You see, women are emotional problem solvers by nature. When she meets a man who's broken, detached, or emotionally unavailable, she subconsciously sees a project, a chance to prove her worth by unlocking his walls. And every time he gives her a little piece of affection after being cold, her brain rewards her with dopamine, like she just won something rare. That's why she keeps going back. It's not about him, it's about the chase. The uncertainty keeps her hooked because uncertainty keeps her invested. The good guy, on the other hand, makes things clear. He communicates, he's emotionally available, he's consistent. But consistency doesn't trigger adrenaline, it triggers safety. And because most women have been conditioned to equate drama with desire, they mistake that safety for boredom. The wrong guy keeps her guessing. The right guy gives her clarity. And in a world where most people are addicted to emotional chaos, clarity feels too calm to be exciting. Here's where most men misunderstand this dynamic. They assume they have to start acting toxic to get her attention, pulling away, ignoring her, playing mind games. That's not strength. That's insecurity disguised as power. The real move is to understand the psychology behind the challenge and use it with integrity. You don't become the challenge by pretending to care less. You become the challenge by being rare, by living with purpose, by not bending your standards for anyone, by staying calm when others would beg. That self-control is the real mystery women crave. So remember this, she's not addicted to bad men. She's addicted to the chase. Once she meets a man who brings both challenge and character, strength with empathy, power with purpose, her entire attraction blueprint changes. Because once she experiences that balance, every emotionally unavailable man she once chased will feel like a waste of time. Point 4. She thinks chemistry equals compatibility. Here's one of the most dangerous illusions in modern dating. The belief that chemistry means compatibility. The spark, the butterflies, the tension, she feels it instantly with the wrong guy and assumes it must be fate. What she doesn't realize is that chemistry isn't always connection. Sometimes it's trauma recognizing itself. Sometimes it's her old wounds reacting to familiar chaos. She doesn't know it consciously, but her body remembers the pattern. The distant father, the unavailable ex, the constant chase for approval. So when she meets a man who gives her that same emotional roller coaster, it feels comfortable. Not because it's right, but because it's familiar. This is why she keeps falling for men who can't love her the way she deserves. Her nervous system confuses anxiety for excitement. The unpredictability, the emotional highs and lows, make her feel alive. The stability of a genuine man, on the other hand, feels foreign. She calls it no spark, but what she's really saying is, I don't recognize this kind of safety. It's not that she doesn't want peace, it's that peace feels too quiet for someone who's used to stormy love. And here's where the tragedy deepens. When she meets a man who's stable, mature, and emotionally grounded, she often pushes him away, not because he's wrong, but because he doesn't trigger that instant rush she's been trained to equate with passion. Her heart says yes, but her body says, this is too calm. This can't be love. That's not rejection. That's emotional conditioning. The powerful man understands this. He doesn't try to force chemistry. He doesn't beg her to see his worth. He knows that real connection isn't always explosive. Sometimes it's steady, grounded, and slow burning. He lets his energy do the talking, confident, composed, certain. Over time, she begins to notice the difference. The men who gave her butterflies always made her bleed. The one who brings her calm also brings her clarity. So understand this: chemistry can be a trap. Compatibility is what lasts. The man who knows how to build emotional safety while still holding masculine tension becomes unforgettable. Because once she realizes that peace doesn't mean boredom, it means home, every spark she once chased will feel like smoke. 5. She mistakes confidence for control. Here's where most women get completely fooled. The wrong guy doesn't necessarily look dangerous at first glance. He looks confident. He walks with certainty, speaks with authority, and gives off that aura of dominance that draws her in instantly. It's intoxicating. She mistakes that confidence for strength, when in reality, it's often just control in disguise. The wrong man knows how to command attention, but not how to handle responsibility. He can lead with charm, but he can't love with consistency. Yet to her, it looks like power, and women are magnetically drawn to power. Why? Because power represents safety and leadership. Deep down, every feminine woman wants to feel protected, not possessed. But when she hasn't healed, she confuses control for leadership. The wrong man makes decisions for her, not with her. He dominates conversations, dictates terms, and makes her feel like she needs his approval to feel valuable. That kind of energy feels exciting at first. It makes her feel chosen. But over time, it turns suffocating. What once felt like confidence begins to feel like a cage. And by the time she realizes it, she's already emotionally invested. The right man doesn't need to control her to lead her. His leadership comes from stability, not manipulation. He doesn't demand her submission. He earns her trust. His confidence isn't loud. It's quiet, calm, and certain. He doesn't raise his voice to prove his strength. His energy alone speaks for him. He gives her space to be feminine without making her feel small. That's real masculine power. Here's the twist. Many women subconsciously crave that strong masculine presence, but since most have only experienced toxic dominance, they chase it in its most broken form. They meet a man who's arrogant, controlling, emotionally unavailable, and mistake that intensity for passion. They think, finally, a real man, when in truth they've met another boy using power as armor. The man who understands this doesn't try to overpower women. He empowers them by standing firmly in his truth. He doesn't lose himself to please her, but he doesn't need to control her either. His confidence comes from mastery of self, not mastery over others. And once a woman experiences that kind of presence, every controlling man she once chased will look like a fraud pretending to be a king. Point 6. She equates emotional drama with deep connection. For many women, the wrong man doesn't just excite her. He moves her. He makes her cry, overthink, argue, and feel like she's fighting for something real. And in her mind, that struggle feels like love. The more drama there is, the deeper she believes the connection must be. If it doesn't hurt, it doesn't feel real. If there's no tension, she thinks it's not special. That's the emotional trap she keeps falling into, confusing emotional chaos with emotional depth. Why does this happen? Because pain feels personal. When someone triggers your emotions, anger, sadness, jealousy, you feel like they've reached deep inside you. It's intense, it's consuming, and it feels like a bond. But that's not connection. It's conflict, mistaken for chemistry. The wrong man keeps her in emotional chaos because that's where he controls the narrative. He disappears, she panics, he comes back, she feels relief. That relief makes her believe he cares. But what she's really addicted to is the resolution, the calm after the storm. It's not love, it's emotional whiplash. Meanwhile, the right man brings peace. He doesn't start fights just to make up. He doesn't create tension to feel important. He communicates directly, values her boundaries, and doesn't turn every disagreement into a power struggle. But because she's used to chaos, peace feels uncomfortable. The absence of drama feels like the absence of passion. She tells herself, it just doesn't feel the same. She's right. It doesn't. It feels safe. And for someone who equates love with pain, safety feels foreign. Here's where the strong man stands out. He doesn't chase her emotional chaos, and he doesn't compete with it either. He understands that his peace is his power. When she brings drama, he doesn't get pulled in. He grounds it. His calmness exposes her conditioning. Over time, she realizes that the connection she thought she had with the wrong men wasn't depth, it was dependency. So remember this, real love isn't proven by how much pain you survive together. It's measured by how much peace you can sustain together. The man who refuses to engage in unnecessary drama doesn't seem boring. He seems stable. And eventually, she learns that the loudest connection isn't always the deepest one. Sometimes the quietest bond is the one that finally heals her. Point 7. She doesn't truly know her own value. Yet here's the deepest reason she keeps choosing the wrong guys. She doesn't fully understand her worth. A woman who knows her value doesn't chase men who only offer pieces of affection. She doesn't settle for breadcrumbs and call it love. But when she hasn't healed, when she hasn't learned to see herself clearly, she'll always gravitate toward men who reflect her insecurities, not her potential. She doesn't pick the man she deserves. She picks the one who matches how she feels about herself. If she believes deep down that she's not enough, she'll choose men who confirm it. The wrong guy doesn't have to say it. His inconsistency, his lack of effort, his indifference does the talking, and instead of walking away, she tries harder. Because every time she convinces him to stay a little longer, she feels like she's proving her worth. That's not love. That's self-negotiation. She's not trying to win him. She's trying to win herself through him. This is why she often rejects good men, because a healthy relationship doesn't fit her internal narrative. When a man shows her consistency, respect, and genuine care, it feels foreign. Her subconscious whispers, "This can't be real. This is too easy. He must not really want me." She's been conditioned to work for love, not receive it freely. So she walks away from peace and runs back to chaos, because chaos feels earned. Peace feels unearned. But here's where everything changes. Once she heals, once she starts valuing herself deeply, the pattern breaks. Suddenly, the toxic men she used to find exciting now look childish. The games feel exhausting. The inconsistency feels disrespectful. And that's when she starts noticing the man who's been grounded, patient, and real all along. The man who doesn't chase her validation, but reminds her of her own. The powerful man understands this. He doesn't try to fix her or prove himself to her wounds. He stands tall, sets boundaries, and lets his energy speak. Because the man who truly knows his worth can awaken hers. And when a woman finally sees her value, she never again confuses attention for love, chaos for passion, or the wrong guy for the right one. Conclusion. Now you understand why she always chooses the wrong guys. It's not that she wants pain, it's that she mistakes chaos for passion, attention for affection, and the chase for love. She's been taught that love must hurt to feel real, that unpredictability equals excitement, and that being chosen by someone broken means she's finally worthy. But the truth is, she's not chasing men. She's chasing validation. And until she heals, she'll keep walking the same loop, running toward the men who drain her and away from the ones who could actually love her. But here's the beauty of it. Once a woman learns her worth, the entire game changes. The drama stops feeling exciting. The peace she once called boring starts feeling safe. She stops craving attention and starts respecting effort. And that's when she's finally ready for the man who doesn't need to play games to keep her interest. The man who doesn't chase, he attracts. The man who doesn't control, he leads. The man who doesn't seek validation, he embodies value. So remember this, you don't win by becoming like the wrong guys she used to choose. You win by becoming the man who shows her what real love feels like, steady, strong, and unshakable. The one she never has to question again.